As far as iconic characters go in the Call of Duty franchise, none is really bigger than Captain Price. And as we recently found out, the new Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, is going to revolve around the same character, Captain Price. So what I thought we would do is we would dive in and look at the entire story of Captain Price, and by the end of the video, talk about how him in the new game Modern Warfare will fit into the overall storyline, if it even will at all. So today I give you the full history of Captain Price.
This is for the record. History is written by the victor. History is filled with liars.
Captain Price's real name is John Price, and unlike many other characters we've looked at in this series, we don't know his date of birth or where he was born. All we know is he was British and he works for the British Special Forces. Now, the first time you're introduced to Captain Price is in the mission FNG in Call of Duty 4, and in this mission you're playing as Soap McTavish and you're the fucking new guy. And as you come up to the obstacle course, Price greets you, well, by saying this.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
And just like that, you know exactly what type of character Captain Price is going to be. However, this is actually not where Captain Price's story begins. To get to the beginning of the story, we have to go to one of the most iconic missions ever in a Call of Duty game. All gillied up.
Follow me and keep low.
This mission is probably my favorite in any Call of Duty game, and in this mission you actually play as Captain Price. The mission takes place in 1996, 15 years prior to the events of Call of Duty 4. This mission is incredibly important. You are in Chernobyl following your mentor, Captain McMillan. And the reason why this mission is so important is you get to see how Captain McMillan took Price under his wing as a mentor. And Captain Price later does the exact same thing to Soap McTavish throughout the rest of the Modern Warfare series. This mission shows you how John Price really became Captain Price. Now, the purpose of this mission is to kill this guy, Imran Zakhaev, a weapons dealer who we get really well acquainted with throughout the story of Modern Warfare. However, it kind of goes sour when you just shoot off his arm, and as we find out later in the story, he actually survives. However, throughout the rest of the mission, you and Captain McMillan make a great escape throughout Chernobyl and eventually are rescued. The next time we see Price in action is in the mission Crew Expendable. This is the very first mission where you're in action in Call of Duty 4. Once again, you are playing as Soap McTavish, and Captain Price is the leader of Bravo team for the British SAS. Now, on this mission, you infiltrate a ship and find intel that Russia is working with terrorists in the Middle East. Now, after this, the ship is attacked and you and Price narrowly escape with your lives. However, the person who gave you the information on this mission, Nikolai, is in trouble. He's in an ultra-nationalist camp and you and Price have to go and save him. And after doing so, Nikolai actually is able to give you more information on the whereabouts of one of the major bad guys in COD 4, Al-Assad. So with the help of Nikolai's information and a little bit of an assist from an AC-130, you're able to track down Assad. And when you do, this is the first time you get to see Price be a total badass.
A name! I want his name!
Sir, it's his cell phone.
The man on the other line of that phone, none other than Imran Zakhaev, the guy he tried to kill 15 years ago. And he is the guy responsible for all of these terrorist attacks that have been going on in Call of Duty 4. So how do they find Zakhaev? Well, their next step is going after the next of kin, aka his son. And capturing him for intel doesn't really go according to plan.
Shit, kid's got some issues. Basically, this is Bravo 6. Zakhaev's son's dead. We're coming home.
Bloody hell. His son was our only lead, sir.
Forget it. I know the man. He won't let this go unanswered. Let's go.
And as Price said, Zakhaev is pretty damn pissed off. In fact, so pissed off that he threatens to nuke well, the entire world. So Bravo team is then forced to go to the missile silos that Zakhaev is at and stop the missiles from being launched.
Stand by. Bravo 6, all warheads have been confirmed destroyed in flight. We got a ton of debris, but most of it's landing in the ocean.
Sir, check the security feed. It's Zakhaev. He's taking off.
So Zakhaev tries to escape the nuclear facility, but you and Price start tracking him down and have an epic car chase with him. And all is going well until the helicopter decides to blow up a bridge. So after the crash, you and Price are in pretty damn bad shape, and Zakhaev is walking down the bridge towards you to kind of finish the job. You turn to see your boy Captain Price with his leg pinned underneath a burning car, but don't worry, he still has your back. Now you end up getting rescued, but as you get turned over, you see Captain Price laying there lifeless on the ground while someone does chest compression. And that seems to be the end of Captain Price. Even in the credits of the game, you get to see a kind of memorial picture that says, "Heartbreakers and Life Takers, thanks for playing Semper Fi," with a picture of you and the crew with Captain Price. And you would assume that that was the end of Captain Price. But don't worry, Modern Warfare 2. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, you were playing as Roach, not Soap McTavish. Soap actually got a promotion to Captain, similar to Captain Price. However, for most of the game, you assume that Captain Price is still dead until halfway through the game, when he shows up in the mission Gulag, to essentially save your ass. As it turns out, Captain Price was actually held as a prisoner within the Gulag for 3 years prior to this mission. And you think this would be a really heartwarming moment between Soap and Captain Price, but he just simply gives him his pistol back. You remember that one he slid to him at the end of Call of Duty 4? So after that, you escape from the prison, and Captain Price resumes his position as captain, but this time for Task Force 141, in other words, the group that you play as in Modern Warfare 2. So under the command of General Shepard, Soap, Roach, and Captain Price are sent to a submarine base to look for nuclear missiles. Upon getting there and attacking it, they see a nuclear missile being launched for the USA.
Missile in the air! Missile in the air! Code black! Code black!
And because of the missile, General Shepard is forced to destroy it with a massive EMP. So after this, Shepard decides to separate the team to hunt down Makarov. Half of the team gets sent to the safe house, half of the team gets sent to the boneyard. The two sent to the safe house include Ghost and Roach. As it turns out, they find intel on where Makarov is. However, Shepard has other plans. And, well, I'm not going to spoil this one because this is probably the biggest moment in the entire Modern Warfare series, so just enjoy.
We got it, sir!
Good. That's one less loose end.
No!
Area sabotaged. All targets destroyed. Solid copy. No movement detected. 2-6 going into holding pattern.
Yep, he kills him. Now, I could do a whole separate video going into why he actually does it, but essentially it's just because he wants to be the war hero. He doesn't want someone else taking the glory from him. So obviously because of this, Captain Price and McTavish are pretty damn pissed, so the rest of the game is essentially them hunting down General Shepard, and it basically ends in, once again, another giant chase. However, this time instead of on a car, it's on a boat, and this is how Modern Warfare 2 ends.
There will be no shortage of volunteers. No shortage of patriots. I know you understand.
So once again, Soap and Captain Price save the day and barely make it out alive. But you may notice that at the end of Modern Warfare 2, there was kind of a big cliffhanger because Makarov was still alive. But of course, that is right where Modern Warfare 3 starts off. So Modern Warfare 3 starts literally right after the events of Modern Warfare 2. Captain Price is carrying Soap to a doctor after he got stabbed by Shepard, and after Soap saved Price's life. But that's also when all the shit hits the fan. And essentially the rest of this mission is just Yuri, Soap, Nikolai, and of course Captain Price trying to get out of here alive. And of course, as always, the heroes do. The next time we see Captain Price is in Africa. The next mission that they are on is to attack one of Makarov's weapons facilities in Africa, expecting Makarov to be there. But to be honest with you, this mission's kind of useless because they don't catch Makarov and they don't even catch the weapons shipment either. The next mission's a little bit more interesting because it starts with Captain Price talking to Captain McMillan. That's right, the guy from All Gillied Up in Call of Duty 4. In fact, this is the first time you hear him since that mission.
Identify yourself.
Mac, this John.
We put a lot of names in the clock tower this week, lad.
Now in this mission, Captain Price is looking for a guy named Warabi, who is one of Makarov's right-hand mans. And once again, there is an incredible interrogation scene. I'm just gonna let you watch it.
Gas masks on.
Look familiar.
No, please!
Where's Makarov? Tell me and it's yours.
Our contact was a man named Volk. We never met Makarov.
Where's this Volk?
Paris! He oversaw the delivery in Paris!
Right then. This is for the boys at Hereford.
And after that, you are now looking for a man named Volk in Paris.
Volk is in Paris. We need to act before he bolts and I can't make the window.
So the other team of forces moves in on Volk and gets information from him. Basically tells him that Makarov is going to be at the Hotel Lustig, so that is where Price, Soap, and Yuri go. But as it turns out, Makarov knew that Price was onto them, so the entire thing was a setup.
Price, get out of there! What the hell's he talking about? Get out now!
So it all of a sudden appears as though Yuri knows Makarov and Soap is not looking so hot. What ends up happening here is this leads to probably one of the saddest scenes in the entire Modern Warfare series. So once again, not going to spoil it, I'll let you enjoy.
Not now, son. Just rest. Get a medic! Come on, stay with me, son. Price.
No. Makarov knows.
Oh, no! Soap! No! Soap! You have to go now! Get off me!
I'm sorry.
Now, one thing a lot of people miss in that scene is that Captain Price actually leaves his pistol with Soap when he dies. This is the same pistol that Captain Price threw him in Call of Duty 4. This is the same pistol that Soap gave him back in the Gulag in Modern Warfare 2. Seemingly, a pistol is almost a symbol of the two's friendship, and with Soap, the pistol dies too. So as it turns out, Yuri actually did used to work with Makarov, but Makarov turned on him when Yuri wouldn't kill innocent people. So, Captain Price gives Yuri a second chance and they once again go after Makarov. And eventually you do end up tracking Makarov down to a hotel in the Arabian Peninsula. Now, an interesting fact about this mission is that this is the first mission where you get to play as Captain Price since the mission All Gillied Up in Call of Duty 4. Those are the only two missions where you actually play as Captain Price. Now, you start this mission by attacking the hotel in a Juggernaut suit, but by the end of the mission, you are on the roof and Makarov is trying to escape in a helicopter. However, Captain Price has other plans. He makes the jump, grabs the helicopter, and hijacks it so Makarov can't get away. Now, even though the helicopter crashes into the roof of the hotel, Makarov somehow still is walking. Now, normally in an end-of-the-game situation like this, Soap McTavish is always the one that has Captain Price's back. However, he's dead at the end of Modern Warfare 3, so it's looking like Captain Price is going to die here, but then his new sidekick, Yuri, comes to save him. However, Makarov is a beast and can take a bullet to the chest, a helicopter crashing, and turns and kills Yuri. So once again, it's just Price and Makarov. Now, as Makarov hangs from the ceiling and Captain Price lays there bleeding out, it appears as though this is the end for Captain Price. But his one last action, the one thing he wants to do with his dying breath, is of course, the one thing Captain Price does best. That would be to light up a cigar. So it would appear as though this was the end for Captain Price. This was the end of his story, and it was for 8 years. However, this fall in 2019, 8 years after Modern Warfare 3, Captain Price's story is going to continue. We saw this in the trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and we know it is happening. But the question is, if this is how Modern Warfare 3 ended, how is the Modern Warfare story coming out this fall gonna fit in? So I'm not going to lie, I don't know 100%, but I know how it is not going to fit in. So one rumor is that this is going to be a prequel. That is not the case. The reason why I know this is because when I was at Infinity Ward to check out the game a little bit early, when the mission started up, it said that the missions were taking place in 2019. That is, of course, after the events of the original Modern Warfare games. So this has to be a sequel. But also at the same time, Infinity Ward said that this is not going to be a direct sequel, which confused me because at the end of the trailer, Captain Price says this.
Who's your team?
Some old comrades.
So who in the hell is Captain Price talking about here? He's saying some old comrades, but we just looked at the entire Modern Warfare storyline and everyone he worked with was dead. Soap is dead, Yuri's dead, Ghost is dead, Roach is dead. So who's left? The only person that is still left alive is who Captain Price started with, Macmillan, and he'd be pretty old at the events of this game, so it's possible, but unlikely. I think what's more likely is that this is actually a different universe where these characters are still alive. A Modern Warfare multiverse, if you will. Now, I don't know this for sure. It's just a theory that people have going on, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see, and have to wait to see who these old comrades really are. But as always, guys, with the character stories videos, these take a ton of work to put together. So all I ask is if you enjoyed this video, if you made it this far, if you could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you wanted me to cover a different character in the future, just let me know what character that is down in the comments below. And also, if you're new to my channel and like what you see here, the best way to stay up to date on all my videos is make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.